Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the intense drama unfolding in Port Charles on Thursday, October 23rd, where unexpected visitors, deep-seated suspicions, and high-stakes interrogations promise to shake the foundations of the Quartermaine legacy and beyond. In a twist that harkens back to their gritty Bensonhurst roots, Lois Cerullo makes a bold, unannounced appearance at Sonny Corinthos' penthouse door, her fiery temperament on full display as she demands entry with a mix of sarcasm and urgency. Growing up together in the tough streets of Brooklyn, Lois and Sonny share a bond forged in shared hardships, from dodging neighborhood trouble to navigating the cutthroat world of music and mob life that pulled them into Port Charles's orbit decades ago. She's still reeling from her fallout with her daughter Brook, Lynn, a rift deepened by family betrayals and misplaced loyalties, and whispers of the Quartermaine mansion's turmoil have undoubtedly reached her ears through old family grapevines. With the recent reading of Monica Quartermaine's will sending shockwaves through the elite household, Lois can't shake her maternal instincts. She's fretting over the fates of Dante Falconeri, Sonny's son who's carved out a detective's life there, and Michael Corinthos, whose corporate ambitions keep him entangled in the mansion's power plays. Sonny, ever the reluctant host with a soft spot for old friends, pauses at the threshold, his dark eyes assessing her resolve. Will he swing the door wide to offer solace and insider intel on the will's fallout, or risk her storming off in a huff, vowing never to return? This encounter could unearth buried secrets from their youth, perhaps even Lois hinting at a forgotten favor Sonny owes her from their Bensonhurst days, adding layers of emotional debt to an already volatile situation. Meanwhile, across town in the cozy confines of Lulu Spencer's modest home, Tracy Quartermaine has taken temporary refuge after her explosive eviction from the family mansion, courtesy of the enigmatic Ronnie Bard's accusations of foul play. Ousted under claims that Tracy slipped something sinister into her drink, possibly a sedative to sabotage the will reading, Tracy now paces Lulu's living room, her sharp tongue unleashing a torrent of theories that paint Ronnie as the ultimate con artist infiltrating the Quartermaine empire. That scheming interloper is concealing a web of deceit, I can feel it in my bones. Tracy declares to Lulu, her voice laced with the indignation of a woman who's clashed with pretenders her entire life. Doubting the authenticity of the will proclaimed as Monica's final word, Tracy dissects every clause with forensic precision, suggesting it was either doctored in a late-night forgery session or fabricated from whole cloth by Ronnie's shadowy allies. She dismisses the stack of heartfelt letters purportedly exchanged between Ronnie and Monica over the years as elaborate fakes, perhaps penned by a forger with a flair for mimicking Monica's elegant script, complete with forged postmarks from European locales to lend credibility. Tracy's vendetta intensifies as she recalls personal anecdotes from Monica's final days, conversations about legacy and loyalty that clash with the will's provisions, fueling her resolve to launch a private investigation, maybe enlisting a discreet PI to trace Ronnie's paper trail back to her mysterious origins. Lulu, caught between sympathy for her aunt and wariness of the family feud's collateral damage, listens intently, unaware that this alliance might draw her into a larger conspiracy threatening the Spencer Quartermaine ties. Tracy vows not to rest until the mansion's deeds are wrested back into rightful hands, potentially rallying other Quartermaines like Ned or even Olivia to her cause, turning this into a full-scale reclamation battle. Shifting to the bustling atmosphere of Bobby's diner, Ronnie Bard convenes with Brook Lynn Quartermaine chase over steaming cups of coffee, their table a neutral ground amid the diner's familiar chatter and clinking dishes. Gio Palmieri, ever the observant newcomer, hovers nearby as a server, his keen eyes catching fragments of their heated exchange while refilling water glasses and dodging the lunch rush. Ronnie, still basking in the glow of her recent triumph, leans in to recount the chaotic aftermath of the lavish tea party that Brook Lynn meticulously orchestrated in a bid to smooth family tensions. Whatever poison Tracy tried to slip me, I hurled it right back in her face, tenfold. Ronnie boasts, her smile sharp as a stiletto, detailing how she unleashed a verbal barrage that left the gathering stunned, from polite society guests to the Quartermaine inner circle. The tea party, meant to be an elegant affair with crystal teacups and delicate pastries symbolizing reconciliation, devolved into a battlefield when Tracy's alleged tampering came to light, Ronnie collapsing briefly before rising like a phoenix to accuse her accuser publicly. Not even Brook Lynn, bound by blood to Tracy as her granddaughter, could fault Ronnie's retaliation. The room buzzed with murmurs of agreement that Tracy's barbs and possible drugging crossed an unforgivable line. Ronnie elaborates on the specifics, inventing a narrative where she spotted Tracy's sleight of hand with a laced sugar cube, turning the tables by exposing it to the crowd and demanding justice on the spot. Brook Lynn nods thoughtfully, torn between her loyalty to the family name and admiration for Ronnie's unyielding spirit, perhaps sensing this meeting could forge an unlikely partnership against future Quartermaine incursions. As Gio discreetly eavesdrops, wiping down a nearby counter, he ponders if this diner confab hints at broader alliances forming in Port Charles's undercurrents. Over at Anna Devane's sleek WSB office, filled with maps of covert operations and flickering computer screens, Britt Westbourne arrives with a barrage of probing questions that cut straight to the heart of long-buried espionage. Britt, her medical precision now turned to investigative curiosity, corners Anna with a direct challenge: do you have concrete proof linking this to my father's final scheme, or is it all speculation? This interrogation stems from Anna's relentless pursuit of Caesar Faison's last project, a clandestine operation involving experimental tech and shadowy funding that Faison, Britt's notorious late father, poured his twisted genius into before his demise. Britt feigns wide-eyed innocence, but her subtle cues reveal a deeper knowledge: whispers of Five Poppies, the enigmatic front company tied to Faison's endeavors, and potential ties to Port Charles's own criminal underbelly, perhaps involving black market dealings in bioweapons or mind control serums. Anna, no stranger to Faison's machinations, has been piecing together intel on who might be resurrecting the project, names like Victor Cassadine's remnants or even unexpected players in the PCPD floating in her notes. Britt's line of questioning serves a dual purpose: gauging Anna's depth of insight while deflecting scrutiny from her own possible involvement, maybe from inherited files Faison stashed away in a Swiss vault that Britt accessed years ago. As the conversation escalates, Britt invents a scenario where she recalls overhearing Faison mention Port Charles safe houses during her childhood, tying loose ends that could implicate local figures in the project's revival. Anna's responses grow guarded, hinting at classified WSB dossiers that might soon drag Britt into the fray, transforming this office chat into a pivotal turning point for Britt's tangled heritage. Finally, in the stark, fluorescent-lit confines of the WSB field office, Nathan West faces a grueling interrogation under the watchful gaze of Jack Brennan, whose own history with international intrigue lends an edge of impatience to his queries. Brennan, leaning forward with a file thick as a novel, presses Nathan: if you had any hand in reviving Faison's endgame, confess now, before it unravels everything. Like Anna, Brennan harbors intense fascination with Faison's unfinished legacy, suspecting connections to Nathan and his sister Britt, both miraculously returned from apparent deaths that still puzzle authorities. Nathan, his memory a fog-shrouded void from the moment Faison gunned him down to his disoriented awakening in a mangled truck on Port Charles's rural fringes, maintains his amnesia with steadfast denial. Yet, the undeniable match of his DNA and fingerprints to PCPD archives raises red flags. How did a dead man leave such precise traces, and what role did he play in the interim, perhaps as an unwitting pawn in a larger resurrection plot involving cryogenic tech or body doubles? Brennan counters with fabricated evidence from his sources, surveillance footage suggesting Nathan's involvement in Five Poppies shipments arriving via the docks, forcing Nathan to improvise responses that weave in half-remembered flashes of betrayal and escape. As the session drags on, Nathan's composure cracks slightly, revealing glimmers of doubt about his own past. Did Faison implant false memories, or is there a hidden agenda tying his survival to Port Charles's escalating threats? This confrontation could shatter Nathan's fragile reintegration, potentially allying him with Britt against their father's ghost or dooming him to WSB custody if Brennan uncovers the truth. With tensions mounting, Port Charles braces for the fallout as these interconnected threads pull tighter, threatening to expose secrets that could redefine alliances forever. Next, we will learn about the explosive drama unfolding as Carly Corinthos Spencer unleashes her wrath on Jack Brennan for secretly pulling her daughter Jocelyn Jacks into the shadowy world of the WSB agency and deceiving her with bold-faced lies for months on end. In this riveting chapter of Port Charles intrigue, Carly's determination to dismantle Brennan's schemes takes center stage, forging an unlikely alliance with Valentine Cassadine to ensure the rogue agent's downfall and secure Jocelyn's escape from the perilous grip of international espionage. Fans are buzzing with anticipation over how this high-stakes vendetta will reshape family loyalties and expose hidden dangers lurking in the Corinthos household. The tension ignited when Carly, ever the fierce protector, confronted Brennan head-on after his return from a clandestine trip to Steinmauer prison in the Swiss Alps, where he claimed to have escorted Lulu Spencer and young Charlotte Cassadine for a heartfelt reunion with Valentine. Picture Carly in her Metro court office, the air thick with unspoken suspicions, as Brennan spins his tale of familial visits and casual check-ins, oblivious to the storm brewing in her eyes. Unbeknownst to him, Jason Morgan had already whispered the shocking truth. Jocelyn, her bold and adventurous daughter, had been recruited as a full-fledged WSB operative, thrust into missions that could cost her life. Carly, masking her fury behind a veneer of polite conversation, subtly probed about Jocelyn's recent adventures, dropping hints of vague threats and near misses to coax a confession from the slippery agent. She even fabricated a scenario involving shadowy figures tailing Jocelyn during late-night outings, hoping to crack his facade and reveal the full extent of her daughter's entanglement. But Brennan, with his trademark smug confidence honed from years in the intelligence game, dismissed her concerns outright, pivoting the narrative to Jocelyn's turbulent romance with the enigmatic Vaughn, a low-level operative whose botched assignment had ripples of danger. He insisted Jocelyn was merely a bystander, caught in the crossfire of Vaughn's failures but never directly at risk, weaving a web of half-truths that painted her as safe and sound in the mundane rhythm of college life and part-time jobs. This blatant deception, claiming no WSB involvement and no real peril, struck Carly like a thunderbolt, her mind flashing back to the harrowing night Jocelyn had been forced to confront Cyrus Renaud, a notorious criminal kingpin whose empire Brennan had exploited to lure her in. That fateful encounter, where Jocelyn pulled the trigger in self-defense, wasn't just a brush with death, it was a calculated trap, part of Brennan's ruthless recruitment strategy that preyed on her sense of justice and thrill-seeking spirit. Carly's blood boiled as she recalled the endless nights worrying over Jocelyn's unexplained absences, the cryptic texts, and the faint scars, both visible and invisible, from missions gone awry, all while Brennan played the role of concerned mentor. As soon as Brennan sauntered out, flashing that infuriating grin, Carly's composure shattered, her face contorted in raw, unfiltered rage, fists clenched against the polished desk as visions of Jocelyn's vulnerability flooded her thoughts. Without a second's hesitation, she snatched her phone and dialed Damian Spinelli, the tech-savvy genius whose hacker prowess had saved the day countless times in Port Charles's tangled web of secrets. In a hushed, urgent tone, Carly demanded the impossible, a flawless false identity, complete with layered backstories, forged documents, and digital footprints that could fool even the WSB's elite cyber forensics team. Spinelli, loyal to a fault and sensing the desperation in her voice, promised to deliver something extraordinary, perhaps a persona as a reclusive European philanthropist or a sharp-witted journalist with ties to Interpol, equipped with encrypted apps and alias email chains to maintain the ruse indefinitely. Teasers from this week's General Hospital promo hint at the plan's swift success, showing shadowy figures exchanging briefcases in dimly lit safe houses, fueling speculation that Carly's transformation is underway, her blonde locks hidden under a sleek, raven-black wig and designer glasses that alter her entire demeanor. Official spoilers tease a jaw-dropping moment where Valentine Cassadine, isolated in the cold confines of Steinmauer's high-security wing, reels from an unexpected visitor slipping through the reinforced gates under the cover of night. It's easy to envision Carly, disguised beyond recognition, navigating the labyrinthine corridors with a forged visitor pass, her heart pounding as guards pat down her alias and scan her fabricated credentials. Arriving at Valentine's cell, she peels back the facade just enough to reveal her identity, her eyes blazing with shared enmity toward Brennan, the man who had orchestrated Valentine's imprisonment and nearly ended his life in a brutal ambush during their fractured partnership. Valentine, with his calculating mind and vendetta-fueled resolve, listens intently as Carly lays out the betrayal, how Brennan not only ensnared Jocelyn in deadly ops, including a fabricated sting that pitted her against Renaud's remnants, but also shattered any remnants of trust by lying during their recent chat. She paints vivid pictures of Jocelyn's recruitment, lured by promises of empowerment after a campus protest gone wrong, only to face Black Ops training in remote facilities, dodging bullets in mock simulations that blurred into real threats. Carly's outrage stems from more than just the lies, it's a mother's primal instinct amplified by her own history of navigating Port Charles's dangers, from mob wars to personal heartbreaks. She delves into the psychological toll on Jocelyn, inventing scenarios where her daughter confides in late-night calls about the adrenaline rush masking deeper fears, the isolation of double lives, the moral quandaries of espionage, and the constant shadow of Brennan's manipulations. Yet, Carly remains resolute, vowing to expose Brennan's overreach, perhaps by hacking into WSB databases to uncover his rogue operations, including unauthorized alliances with global syndicates that threaten not just Jocelyn but the entire Spencer Cassadine legacy. Valentine, seeing an opportunity to claw back his freedom and settle old scores, agrees to collaborate. Their pact could involve smuggling intel via Charlotte's drawings or leveraging Lulu's unwitting connections, turning Steinmauer into a nerve center for counter-espionage. This duo's chemistry, Carly's fiery impulsiveness clashing with Valentine's icy strategy, promises fireworks as they plot Brennan's professional ruin, from leaked dossiers to staged leaks that force the WSB to audit his command. Despite Carly's unyielding drive, Jocelyn's own ambitions complicate the rescue, whispers from set sources suggest she's thriving in the WSB's adrenaline-fueled world, drawn to the empowerment it offers after years of feeling overshadowed by her family's chaos. Imagine Jocelyn in a high-tech briefing room, poring over maps of Renault's hidden assets, her skills in cryptography and fieldwork earning nods from skeptical superiors, yet privately grappling with the cost, like fake disappearances that strain her bond with Dex or Trina. Carly, undeterred, believes this thrill is a siren call masking true peril, drawing parallels to her own youthful recklessness that nearly cost her everything. She won't back down, even if Jocelyn resists, pushing forward with Valentine's aid to petition WSB brass anonymously or fabricate evidence of Brennan's ethical breaches, such as pressuring recruits into unsanctioned hits. Their friendship with Brennan, once a pillar of mutual respect forged in covert ops decades ago, has devolved into a venomous feud, marked by assassination attempts, Valentine's poison dart plot foiled, Brennan's sniper setup exposed, leaving no room for reconciliation. As Carly jets across the Atlantic, her fake ID clutched like a weapon, the stakes skyrocket with potential crossovers. What if Jason uncovers her scheme and joins the fray, or Sonny Corinthos leverages his underworld ties to pressure WSB informants? This alliance could ripple through Port Charles, forcing Jocelyn to choose between her covert career and family safety, while Brennan scrambles to cover his tracks amid mounting suspicions. Viewers, brace for a whirlwind of disguises, double-crosses, and emotional showdowns that redefine loyalty in the spy thriller undercurrents of General Hospital. Stay tuned for more twists as Carly's quest for justice collides with the Cassadine Empire's shadows.